Nonchalance, one of the most misunderstood, underestimated traits in a world addicted to noise. These days, everyone's shouting. Every feeling is a post. Every thought is broadcast. Every moment is captured, filtered, uploaded. But the man who doesn't flinch, the man who doesn't chase, the man who doesn't show hunger, he becomes the most powerful figure in the room. Not because he's cold, but because he's in control. See, nonchalance isn't about not caring. It's about caring, selectively. It's about being unreadable. It's about never showing your cards unless you're ready to play them. Machiavelli knew this well. He didn't say the prince had to be perfect. He said he had to seem composed, even when everything around him was chaos. Because once people see your desperation, they know how to move you. But if they see nothing, no panic, no need, no rush, they're lost. They're left guessing. And guess what? What people can't figure out. They start to fear. A nonchalant man doesn't speak to fill silence. He doesn't move to be seen. He doesn't emote to prove something. He's economical with his energy because he knows what it's worth. He watches. He waits. He calculates. Not because he's passive, but because he understands timing. Most people are so reactive. They respond to every comment, every rumor, every shift in mood. But the nonchalant man stays still. Stillness is power. Because people don't understand it, they start asking questions. Why doesn't he react? Why isn't he chasing? Why doesn't he care? That confusion, that tension, becomes leverage. The moment you stop reacting, people start leaning in. Curiosity becomes your weapon. Mystery makes people pay attention. Machiavelli never said, be vulnerable. He said, hide your intentions. Nonchalance is your disguise, not the absence of emotion, but full control of it. You can be feeling deeply, but if your face doesn't show it, if your voice stays calm, you own the room, you own the moment. Because now, everyone else is trying to figure you out. They're playing your game without even knowing it. They show their cards first. You haven't even touched yours. This is psychological dominance. When you appear to need nothing, people offer everything. When you act like you're not interested, they try harder. When you stay quiet, they start over-explaining. But here's the key. That calm, it's not natural. It's trained, it's practiced. You have to learn to pause, to wait, to feel pressure and not rush, to feel insult and not flinch. The nonchalant man doesn't confuse urgency with action. He doesn't confuse noise with power. He moves only when it counts, and when he does, people feel it, people notice. You can't beg for respect. You can't perform for dignity. You either carry it or you don't. And when a man truly understands that, when he values his emotion like currency, he stops giving it away for cheap. He spends it wisely, with precision, only when it matters. The world respects mystery. It fears what it can't read. It follows what stays still while everyone else is spinning. That's the quiet power of the nonchalant man. He's not chasing anything. He's not loud. But somehow, everyone notices him. Why? Because he's not trying to be noticed. He doesn't check who's watching. He doesn't laugh louder to be liked. He doesn't adjust his posture for approval. He stands like he already belongs. Because in his mind, he does. He made that decision long before he walked into the room. This composure, it unnerves people. It makes the insecure feel exposed. Because while they're performing, he's just existing. He proves nothing. He simply is. And in a world obsessed with proving, chasing, and pleasing, that kind of stillness becomes magnetic. Machiavelli said it best. It's not enough to be strong. You must appear strong. Same goes for composure. It's not enough to feel calm. You must appear calm. Because appearance becomes reality. If people believe you're unshaken, they treat you as the steady one. If they believe you're unaffected, they start questioning their own behavior. That's how power shifts, subtly, silently. Now here's the mistake most make. They think nonchalance is pretending. It's not a mask. It's not fake indifference. It's not apathy. It's a result, a reward. It's what happens when you finally stop chasing things that don't matter. When you break your addiction to being seen. When you stop rushing just because the world says now. Urgency? That's how men lose power. The moment you act like you need something, you hand your leverage away. But when you move slowly, when you speak sparingly, when you wait and let others overextend themselves, you start to rule. There's an energy in doing less, There's weight in your silence. There's power in your restraint. Each time you hold back from reacting emotionally, you take more control of yourself. And when you let others reveal themselves first, you gain more insight. And insight, that's how advantages are built. People may call it cold, distant, arrogant even. But the nonchalant man doesn't flinch at misunderstanding. He's not here to be liked. He's here to win. And winning isn't about having more. It's about staying composed longer than anyone else. It's about outlasting the noise, outmaneuvering the loud, outwitting the impulsive. Because nonchalance isn't weakness, it's patience. With teeth, it's the strength to say, I'm not threatened by what you do. I'm not rushing to prove anything. I'm not giving you access just because you demand it. That kind of presence is rare. That kind of man owns the room, not because he takes up space, but because he doesn't need to. He lets the loud ones talk. He lets the emotional ones show their hand, and when the room gets quiet again, he's still standing, still calm, still in control. Here's what separates him from the rest. The nonchalant man doesn't compete for attention. He doesn't perform for power. He simply carries it. And when that kind of calm walks into a room, everybody feels it, even if they don't know why. See, nonchalance often gets mistaken for arrogance. But it's not built on ego. It's built on mastery. Mastery of timing, mastery of emotion, mastery of presence. It's the ability to feel deeply but show nothing, to be fully alert, fully aware, yet look untouched. That illusion, the illusion of needing nothing, creates gravity. People chase what stays still. They obsess over what stays silent. They submit to what never begs. That's the paradox. The less you reveal, the more people imagine. The less you pursue, the more they chase. The less you speak, the more weight your words carry. Because when a man who rarely speaks finally says something, everyone leans in, everyone listens. He's not quiet because he has nothing to say. He's quiet because most things just aren't worth saying. He waits, he watches, he picks his moment, and when he finally moves, it's never wasted. Machiavelli said it. The appearance of virtue is more useful than virtue itself. Same goes for indifference. You don't need to feel nothing. You just need to show only what you choose. The man who's numb is empty. But the man who feels everything and still keeps his center, he's untouchable. He can sit across from chaos and not blink. He can face insult, temptation, pressure, and still stay rooted. Because he's already won that battle in private. He's already burned through the noise. He's learned the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is cheap. Responding is power. And power doesn't explain itself. It doesn't shout. It doesn't chase approval. It just is. So, stop performing. Stop over-explaining. Stop wasting energy on people who don't matter. Start watching. Start listening. Start choosing your silence like a weapon. Because in a world of noise, a composed man becomes unforgettable. He makes people feel something they rarely feel. Uncertainty about themselves. And that's power. Remember, people don't forget how you made them feel. And if you can make them feel off balance, curious, drawn in, but never fully in control, you become the standard, the frame, the man who doesn't flinch, the man who doesn't need, the man who doesn't rush. That man bends the emotional atmosphere of the room without saying a word. So, here's the truth. Nonchalance isn't about caring less. It's about caring precisely, only where it counts. It's about protecting your energy like it's gold, because it is. And when you learn to master it, to hold back when you want to explain, to walk away when you want to react, to stay composed when everything begs you to unravel, you don't just earn respect, you become impossible to ignore. So, be nonchalant, not to appear powerful, but because you already are.